Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Let Us In wrap-up episode. Um, we're kind of just recording this live, so if you listeners want to see our faces and kind of put like more of our faces next to our characters and whatnot, go over to Stolen Droid's YouTube channel. The video is going to be there. Won't want to miss it. We have great facial expressions that we're excited for everybody to see. So we'll just do a last round of introducing ourselves. I'm Erica Ondowin. I'm the GM for the podcast. This has been my first times ever GMing, and I've really been enjoying it. Snoocast is so sweet and so kind. Very grateful for them for joining in on this second season and the upcoming seasons that we're gonna have. So we'll kind of just go in like the circle that's in front of me. So Mika, go right on ahead.
What am I doing?
Introducing yourself and probably, who your character was.
Ouch. Spoilers. Hi, I am Mika. I played Lemon the Dud.
Lemon the hero.
Oh,
Yes. No more Lemon the Dud. Lemon the hero.
bless you, Lemon. Bless you.
It's true. And Matt.
Hey y'all, I'm Matt, and I played Henry S. Lenderman.
Oh, good boy, Henry. And Lindsay.
Hey, I'm Lindsay. I played Thirsty. The Mahaha.
And Steph.
And I'm Steph, and I played Maria, who was a Rusalka.
Oh, such a great bout of characters. Okay, so the thing that I loved most about this season was watching all of the characters grow really close. My favorite episode, well, I guess technically episodes, was when you guys were in the black market. Killing Butch was one of the most it was probably my favorite part of the season. And I know you're
Erica.
you're like, how dare you? But okay, let me explain myself
Yikes.
now that I can.
Okay.
Now that I have the place to. So I had Butch set up to be just this character that you guys could just happen to go to. Just some place you just happen to need to go to so I could have something as a backup. I also I now keep a list of NPC names, so now that I won't be thrown off by any questions that Steph is going to have in the future.
I'm so sorry, but also not sorry enough to stop.
I know, and it's great. And so I had him set up, and there wasn't much about him other than he had a butcher's shop. I think I actually had a completely different name for the shop, and I kind of just fudged some things around and made him a real character. And then because I think almost that entire episode was where I planned the least amount of stuff and just kind of let you guys run the show. And so I never killed a character before. And so I was like, last second, because I had 4 NPCs lined up for you guys to find the soul from. And I was like, you know what? Let's use Butch. And last second, I threw Butch in there. And the resounding just love for him and sadness of him dying. I was like, this is the good stuff. I have an addiction now.
Erica, this is kind of like when serial killers in interviews talk about their first kill.
Oh no.
And how it's unlocked something in them.
It was great to see the emotions in everybody and see how important this character became, and then Henry never knowing that he died was
And the fact that you went from killing no characters to that emotionally traumatizing episode where we didn't tell Henry because he was emotionally traumatized from the other death, if you remember.
Possible girlfriend dying. Oh my gosh, that's another thing that I can tell everybody. I think I told you guys, but so because I kept pushing you guys in the previous episodes to go to Tech King first, And that's because if you had gone there first, you would have seen her there and would have saved her from being killed.
So cruel.
I
I
know.
love that there were consequences.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm just gonna get them to go there because I think it'd be great for Henry. And then you guys decide to go to the black market, and I was like,
This is it, because it would have made sense, but we had no need for Tech King at that stage. So, like, from a
Yeah.
character standpoint, I think it was really faithful
Yeah,
for the fact that we didn't go. But, like, from a story
Exactly.
standpoint, it's real bummer.
It's a real bummer. Yeah, but like those episodes were my favorite of the entire season.
I really liked those. My favorite episodes were like the following ones, particularly the library.
Oh gosh.
Like hijinks in the library. Like we were all kind of bonded at that point.
Yeah.
As characters and stuff, and we just like we kind of had this little hijinks. What's the word? Like a heist in the library.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
Jimothy.
And Jimothy. We can't forget that.
He's head
I
of the
think I'm
library
inclined-
now. He's happy.
Does he still think about the long lost Rasaka
yes,
who got away?
all the time. I'm pretty sure he's drawn a photo of her and like taped it on his wall as like a remembrance.
Man. A Maria
It feels-
shrine.
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, it feels a little bit stuck up to say that was my favorite episode just because it was, I think, the one where Maria shrined the most. But when I built Maria as a character, that was really the moment I was hoping that Maria would get to have.
Did you
where she
just say
was really-
shrined?
Yes, because she meant to say shine and she said shrine.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know, I'm
was
not
great.
sure pointing out
I
the
was
fact
not
that I
going to
can't.
point it out, but Mika did, and that makes it.
This is the
I
issue
didn't even
with
catch it.
for the audience, Mika and I are really close friends outside of the Lettuce-In, and this is what I get for going on a podcast with a close friend, is whereas like everyone else is willing to let my slips just
No,
slip
this
by,
is-
Mika's
this
like,
is-
oh no.
This is payback for all the times you do this to me on Sundays.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because Mika and I have a game that we play that is not recorded and not on a podcast. And whatever you
Give each other
heard me
crap.
doing to Erica, I am worst Mika. And
I will be totally honest. I love it because before doing GMing, I kept hearing all of these things of like, oh, my players, like so like flirty with the NPCs. They try to do crazy things, or they ask these questions that I'm like, oh, I had nothing prepared. And I was like, I really hope I have those experiences because they're talked about all over the internet and you gave them to me. And I was so happy. So happy.
Okay, Mika, Matt, what were your guys' favorite episodes?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna make you go first.
Oh,
I don't know if I have one. I think it's just because I'm being put on the spot and like my mind's just going blank of everything we did.
Uh-huh.
I have it pulled up on Spotify. Do you want me to read a few?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we start with the intro. Let's see here. I gotta put this on my full screen. So many questions with so few answers. That's where we kind of meet.
And that was in and of itself a great episode. It was
It
super
really
cool to
was.
watch
great
everyone's
because
character.
It was also you guys kind of meeting. I mean, you guys had met before this because we all needed to meet, but it was great seeing your characters come together in that moment as well as you guys as players.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
We have Henry's backstory, the black market, captured soul, cost of a soul, Tech King episode where we get upgrades and net mail,
That was a great one.
flirtation in books, which is the one I just mentioned.
I'm pretty sure that's our
Um,
highest downloaded episode now.
I
Oh,
think-
really? Interesting.
I think
Yeah.
from like the library on, because we really found our groove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and things got real from then on too. Like
Yes.
story wise.
I feel like when Matt did his like truly, not to like toot your horn too much, Matt, but like your truly incredible bit of acting in the black market with your like your really heart-wrenching scene. I feel like that was a turning point for us in understanding our characters and how they relate to each other, because we were all so emotionally drawn into that moment that in the future episodes it almost felt like we found our groove more in those future episodes. But I think what the turning point actually was that moment of Henry being so emotional and all of us feeling like we were on that journey with Henry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What were all your favorite character moments? Or like character
Oh,
relationships?
wait, Matt, what
even?
was your favorite episode?
Oh,
Sorry, Mika.
sorry. I'll say like the episode after we got off the airship and went into the pastry shop, because the way y'all were figuring out how to communicate with each other, with Lemon being unable to parse the numbers, that blew my mind. I was like, because I was making the notes, I was listening, I didn't have to deal with most of it because I wasn't Henry wasn't there, but I was like, there's a part of me that was like, I'm glad I'm not there because there's nothing I can add right now because I don't know what to do. But y'all were on such a great train where I was like, this is brilliant.
You say y'all. It was really Lindsay. Like, Lindsay was coming up with so many
Oh my
creative
gosh.
ways
I'm
to,
pretty
to
sure
try
she
to
carried that
communicate to
episode.
Lemon.
No.
Oh, yeah. Like, Maria's
You guys are
whole
so
thing and that was
sweet.
just was an extensive panic attack. And it was really
It's
cool
true.
watching, like, Lemon and Thirsty trying to, like, parse out communication as Maria's just, like, running around in the background freaking out.
So I knew that it was an important clue. So when Erica said it, I wrote it down on this like packet of eyeglass cleaners.
Oh,
And so I wrote it and I just like kept flipping it over and I'd like write, you know, the even emus like omelets or whatever. And I just had fun with it. It was really fun to like try and decode that. I really liked that game.
oh my gosh. That's adorable. Character moments. Oh, I gotta piggyback off what Steph said about Matt and like the whole thing with the black market and I forgot her name, Xena, and losing her, and the also just like the small moments between Thirsty and Henry, I think were some of my most favorites. How like quickly bonded they became, and like Henry asking Thirsty, you know, like for advice, because that was the moment, that was the episode after that where Henry wasn't himself anymore. That's why he was asking for advice, because he had a choice to make. So that was really special for me to listen to.
I loved that relationship too. It was so cute. Like they were just so sweet together because they were like the tall, lerpy boys of the group and just I don't know. They just clicked for some reason, probably from that episode with Xena's kind of send off. So
dramatic death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really fun duo. Like anytime I'd be in a situation with Thirsty, like I always, one thing that I really appreciated so much is just Lindsay's ability to flip Thirsty back and forth between like whenever you pull out the voice, it's terrifying and then you find ways to make it sweet and hilarious too. And I love it.
I honestly couldn't just stand there while you were like having this horrible experience. And by you, I mean Henry. And then like I remember there was a moment where Eric was like, "Oh, Thirsty, you're there. What do you do?" And I was like, "I can't just leave this man to, you know, weep and die." So, you know, I tried to do something sweet, and then that just became part of who Thirsty was. Just sweet, soft really inside, creepy on the outside. Thirsty. I really liked Lemon's monologues.
Oh my gosh, the monologues. Oh my gosh, I loved those so much. Tell
Mika,
us
what
more.
would you say?
For favorite character moments?
I was going to say favorite character moments, but if you want to talk about your monologues, those were some of my favorite parts of the series. So
I just the two things that stick out the most that kind of go with the monologues. One, the traditional automaton theater, and you saying Maria has never been more interested in anything Lemon has ever said.
That was, oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard in that moment.
And then when I made that dumb, like, that's one lemon I don't want to turn into lemonade. And then Maria stopping and saying, I'm so disappointed in you.
Those two had a cute relationship as well.
I was gonna
Kicking
say.
while you're down and all that. You guys had a cute, like,
Oh,
kind
the
of
kicking.
brother and sister-ish relationship where you're like just teasing each other and
And I really felt like my favorite relationship, and there were so many beautiful things that were happening through the series, but I loved Maria and Lemon's relationship because they both kind of felt like people who didn't totally know how they fit into everything else. And like obviously those themes were really dramatic when it came to Thirsty not knowing who Thirsty was. But at the same time, it did feel like there was something about Lemon and Maria where both of them like had these roles, but they kind of felt like they'd put those roles on and they were kind of playing these roles and they didn't totally know how that related to other people or to each other. And so I really enjoyed the fact that they were both kind of awkward and like not great at like how to relate to people, and so it became things like Maria just thumping, like Maria being so small just thumping on this giant robot every time he was every time that Lemon got a little bit weird, Maria was like, well, if I just thump them that'll probably work. And just the like various snarky commentary, and I really loved Maria and Lemon's relationship because it felt like they found home in each other a little bit.
That makes sense. I like that.
That was a great explanation. Like, that was like more deep than I even realized, and it totally lines up. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
But okay, one of my favorite character interactions of the entire series will always be the questions outside the library of how we related to each other.
Oh my gosh.
And how do you like him and Thirsty?
Actually,
Sexual.
Well, I couldn't even say the line straight because it's just something stupid I would have said to my friends, which I did.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was so funny.
I absolutely loved those NPCs. They're like gossipy old women outside the library, and they're like,
that's not how you gossip.
and then this like team of freaks comes up, and we're like, "Where's the story?"
And they literally had no other purpose because the whole point of the alarm was to freak you guys out into thinking it was because of you. But then it turned out just because this old lady with memory problems stole a book, and Mika's like, "No, there's got to be more," and I'm like, "There's no more."
It was so funny.
There's no more.
Okay, everyone that isn't Erica, although Erica, you could also have an opinion. Our favorite moments messing with Erica.
Oh gosh.
Because I feel like we had some doozies.
It's true.
Mine would be the very first episode where like we go through all of your characters and like Erica doesn't really know what to expect. And I had established previously that I was doing a character voice. And Matt, bless you, you're like, oh, I'll do a little voice too. And I was just like, thank you, because I'm going all out. And then like my first time being thirsty, like everyone was like, oh my gosh, like this is so
like,
over the top.
Carry this through the season.
Like your energy, Erica, was just like it changed completely. Like everyone was just totally creeped out by Thirsty, except for one guy who was like kind of vibing in the spa or something.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Oh man, I liked that character. Oh, that was a good one.
Speaking of voices, I decided on Lemon's voice literally 10 minutes before we started recording the first episode.
Yes. I put together Lemon and Thirsty's twist in episode like 2 or 3 days before we recorded. Because I knew the ending, I knew what I wanted, but I couldn't get the bridge.
You did a good job.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have a voice for my character next season. I decided to kind of ease myself into it this season and not go too much on the voice, but I think next season we're gonna go for it.
She definitely had an aura, though. Maria did. She
Yeah.
had this
and
like,
I very much did that on purpose so that my normal speaking
Yeah.
voice, like I had a character there, but it wasn't like sexual. Like that's
It's gonna follow you for the rest of your life, Lindsay.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Lindsay. It
okay
was
with
one of the
that, I
funniest things
guess.
I've ever heard.
well,
It's
if
true.
I'm known for one thing and it happens to be that, I guess I'll learn to live with it.
Now, this wasn't a voice thing, but I loved how Steph, how well you were able to adapt so quickly into with Maria, like being this espionage character, because there were so many situations where it's like you have to go undercover or you have to like schmooze with someone or butter someone up, and it's like you just went straight in so smoothly. Like I mean, of course we've got the flirtation, but even like super early on when we were going onto the ship, I mean, coming up with you and Lemon being husband and wife,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
dying.
That was so good. Oh my
And then it
gosh.
all absolutely fell apart, which was also so fun. And I really loved how much I could kind of pull out these random undercover situations, and you all just kept going with them. And so when like the lemon thing inevitably collapsed because it turns out me being married to an automaton didn't make sense. I think it was Lindsay. Like I think Thirsty was like, no, it's actually me. And then it was so good. And it was so fun to
good.
be with a group of people who, like, every time I came up with something weird, someone was like, and yeah, we're going for it. And I loved that.
Oh, those
I love
moments are
that
some
too.
of my
This
favorites.
it's like one of the rules of improv is yes and you guys definitely follow that of just like, yeah, okay, we'll go with this. Like this is not where I anticipated it going, but heck yeah, okay.
As a pro
It is.
at the improvs,
All of y'all.
like, where is he? For listeners, I was trying to point to.
The camera's
Matt.
reversed, so it's a little hard.
That's always hard. Oh man. Let's see what else. I'm looking through my notes of all of the different stuff and realizing how much I changed like on the spot.
Yeah, so here, Erica, let's ask you a question. When
Oh.
you were kind of figuring out what this season was going to look like, did you have a thought about where this was going to end when we first started? And is that where it ended, or does it look totally different?
Yes. So it actually pretty much ended. So when I started planning, I talked to a couple of people. I was like, here's the premise. I'm trying to come up with some twists because I was having a hard time. I had kind of come up with the idea. I kind of had an idea for Lemon already, but I wanted to connect it to some other characters. And shout out to my friend Tori and Emily for helping talk me through some of this stuff. But they helped me come up with the idea for Thirsty being a shadow. And so they helped me kind of put that together. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if Lemon is the reason that Thirsty is a creature now and not a shadow? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. And then, like, going through, we had this stuff with Maria and what she had done. And I knew I wasn't going to reveal a whole lot of that until the very end because it was such a secret, and I was able to give items to like kind of like trigger some things. And then the stuff with Henry was probably one of my favorites because I was just sitting there one night, like I came up with a whole bunch of stuff like the night before. I was sitting there with my husband. I was like, I want to do something with Henry's character. I want to like give him a choice and let there be consequences. So we talked about it and we came up with the thing of him being possessed in a way. I was like, okay, I'll give him a choice. So the whole thing, like he kept getting some letters throughout the season of stuff from Hepio. and she was requesting information. That's why he was looking for a certain book at the library, because she needed to know information about the pages that were missing, ensuring that they were still missing. And then she gave him a letter. Actually, I could totally just read the letter that she sent to him. We had some great like back and forth, but like with that kind of stuff, came up with like the whole bunch of middle stuff, but it ended exactly in the place that I wanted it to. I knew we were going to end underneath the like capital city, because I wanted to show that the automatons were being tortured, and that's kind of, I don't think I explained this well enough in the finale, but now I can now explain some other things. The whole thing is, the reason why there's this virus and other things is because of those torture chambers. Hepia was trying to figure out a way to control the life after, and that's why she was experimenting on all of them. She was making this happen herself, along with her predecessor that died in the place that Maria stole the stuff from. So it ended exactly where I wanted it to, with just a whole bunch of different spices added in.
So the great news is Maria didn't feel bad for killing that guy in the first place, and now she extra doesn't feel bad. And Maria always feels bad for everything. So,
and she shouldn't feel bad, because it was terrible. Because the reason they were making the sealant was so they could destroy the ingredients that make it. So nobody could ever do anything about it except for them. Nah. That was another piece of lore that I throw in.
Can I ask Matt, like, what it was like to have like kind of all this background stuff happening? And sorry, I'm just turning this into a Steph interviews people.
Do it.
But
I love it.
Matt, what it was like to have like all this background stuff happening, and then have what was happening in the main story, and those kind of being like, there's all this stuff you can't tell us, and that like is informing your character, and like what that experience was like.
I mean, I'd say being Henry in those moments, it was weird in how well it fit, because he never suspected a thing in terms of her being not on the up and up or anything. And maybe I can chalk that up to him being relatively out of practice when it comes to interacting with people, and his insight isn't as high as it should be with all this inexperience. And as a result, it's like a proposition that seems too good to be true ends up being like, oh, this is the thing. I can finally control this, so I can live my life. I can finally see my mom again. And it's like all these elements. It felt very much like for Henry, doing those things, having that information, and being on this quest were all wrapped on the same path. And so it wasn't hard at all. Erica made it super easy to work with, especially when the possessions and stuff started happening too. And then like with our interactions in on the quest itself, everything just kind of fell into place, because y'all are really fun and easy to play with.
It's true. It was so much fun with those letters, because he had a choice of you can give me the information about Maria and what she knows about the sealant and the master brush. She said, give me that information, and you can either see your mother in the life after. I have the ability to show you, or you can control your ability. But I'm glad, Matt, that Henry did not choose the other one, because she doesn't have that ability. She never did. And so him choosing that, she would have just taken possession over him, and he still would have just randomly teleported. So I was very happy with the choice that you made.
Dang.
Yeah. I was very happy about that. Because I was like, he
Erica
really
and
needs to
her
control.
crazy killer consequences.
I know. This is very
Oof.
unlike me.
I love it. It adds stakes, you know.
It's true. I learned a lot from season 1 about how to GM and like I think most of it comes from Arium because of the freedom that we have and being able to create a world together bonds us and the characters a lot more because we're like, "Hey, I created that. We created this." And I think that helps my GM style a lot too because I felt a lot more free in my abilities as well as allowing you guys to kind of do whatever you wanted and just kind of follow along. So I'm glad we're doing Airy.
That's so
That's great.
interesting because I was thinking about from a GM perspective how much anxiety I would feel in a situation where there
Right?
isn't any sort of anything to fall back on. And the idea of like, we created this world, which means we might not know until it's too late that like there's some major plot holes or like major inconsistencies that you only realize when you're like 98%
Yep.
of the way through a plot. Like,
Yep. Yeah, I was terrified of that happening, and I thought the same thing because I my ADHD, my anxiety, I want structure, I want plan, I want this. But then as soon as I started doing the homebrew stuff, I was like, I like this more. I make the rules now. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. And so, yeah, so I'm really glad that we're gonna continue to do it and that we're gonna do another one. Because who knows what we're gonna come up with. The kind of concept that we had at the beginning, because I think it was the very first episode when we
Muppets.
episode 0. Oh no.
Muppets is the next season.
Oh yeah, Muppets for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be kind of fun. But so like in the introduction episode, Steph, you were saying like I'm looking forward to having a story about monsters where they're not scary and we can like have a sympathetic storyline and actually care about monsters that generally in the world are terrifying and nobody likes them. And I was so proud of all of us for being able to do that because that's not something you hear every day, if ever, that kind of a story. So I really loved that. And that was like it was probably my driving force with any of the NPCs that I was creating to make sure that that specific vision came to life. That one in particular. So that intro episode was really good because it gave me an opportunity to be like, okay, so this is what they're expecting. I need to make sure to do that. So we'll be doing that next season too.
Heck yeah. I'm on board.
I know, right? And I'm sure people are curious or yelling at the screen, when is season 3? We don't know. A lot of us have jobs and other things, and things are kind of getting a little bit crazy. So we're gonna take probably a couple months break, just to kind of give everybody some breather, wrap up any current projects they're doing. I think Matt, you're in like 3 different RPG campaigns right now, so this is a good little breather for you as well. So just like, oh, Kitty can see Lindsay's cat in her screen. Look at that good boy.
This is Hamilton.
What a good boy. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways.
Sorry to our podcast listeners. Just imagine
love
a gray
it.
tabby.
And so we're going to take a couple months break, but we have really good news. So a couple weeks after this comes out, we have started doing between season one shots. So by the time this comes out, I think we will probably have it recorded, or the next week we will be recording it. So that's something really fun to look forward to. So keep an eye out on social media for the official announcements as to who our special guest is going to be. And for the between season one shots, the players are going to be GMing a game, and Mika is going to be the very first one to do it. So we are very excited
Hello.
to I'm so
Mika.
excited to experience you as a GM for me. I'm so excited.
And can I just say, like, not to be that person, but Mika's a really fantastic GM.
I've heard that, and I'm so excited.
So Mika and I have been playing a game together where Mika's GMing we're coming up on 2 years now of the same players.
Oh
Like
my
we had
gosh.
one person leave and one person added. But other than that, it's been the same people consistently over Zoom for 2 years. And I think you have to be a pretty special GM to keep
Mhm.
people engaged for 2 years. In that sort
Yeah.
of environment. And so I'm really excited for you all to hear what a fantastic GM Mika is, because he's really, really fantastic and so much fun to play with.
I'm gonna
Oh.
crash and burn now.
It's
I doubt
okay.
it. And if
I've-
you do, you'll
I'm-
do it in style.
yeah,
Truth.
True.
I've run this module like 2 times already, so like
That's good.
I'm familiar enough with it to where hopefully if I crash and burn, it'll still be fine.
We
And
won't
you
know
were
this.
even soliciting our D&D group to do another run through of it before you do it with us. So
Oh
you'll be
yeah,
fine.
that's true. We still are, except for
Ooh.
you. In
Yeah,
our group
well-
chat. In our group
Well,
chat,
because I'm in the live version. No spoilers.
yeah. But in our group chat for that campaign, I even posted like, "Hey, does anyone except for Steph want to run this campaign with me real quick?" And then I followed it
I
up with,
love it.
"Steph's going to be in the live version, which is why she can't." Not that I hate her.
My favorite thing about this was that there was like in the follow-up message this implication that maybe Mika and I had some giant falling out, and this was just how we were telling all our mutual friends, was him like
no.
explicitly not inviting me to this one shot.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, sorry.
I love it. And so yeah, so you guys get all experience the amazingness that Mika is, and I'm really excited to play as a player, and get a break from GMing for a hot minute.
Should we say what the module is going to be?
If you want to, go for it.
This is a Scooby-Doo themed module. I'm actually going to look up real quick who the creator is, just
Oh
so
yes,
we can
please.
have that. Where is it? Somebody else can talk for me or talk over me real quick while I look this up.
So yeah, each of us are going to be part of our characters are going to be based off of the Scooby Gang. I'm going to be Scooby. So I've got to figure out some sort of voice to match my more high-pitched feminine voice. So I'm going to be talking to Lindsay
Hey now.
about how to do it. Matt, who are you based off of? Well, gonna be.
I'm gonna be Daphne, so I don't have to do anything with my voice.
Matt, I'm begging you with everything in my soul to please go full like Ditz Valley Girl in your voice. I just think it'd be really
I'm
funny.
gonna literally pay to see that.
I think you should be full Ditz Valley Girl and then just pick one really good line and just do it straight as Matt. Like,
Oh my gosh, that'd be incredible.
let's
Oh,
go, Fred.
man.
And Lindsay, who are you?
I'm Velma.
Yay.
So very nerdy and smart. One of those
Like you.
characteristics is me. So yay.
I love it. And Steph?
And I'm playing Fred, which I'm super excited for. I've had kind of a himbo character that I've had half built for a while now, and I'm really
Oh,
planning on playing Fred full himbo.
What class? Because I have $5 writing on this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think you're going to have to wait and see.
No, we need to know what your class is
No.
because we all have money on this.
Wait, you all have
We
money on
literally
this? I
have
don't
money
check
on
the
this.
group chat enough.
Even our
Okay,
guest
not in the
is
group
in on
chat.
this. Yeah. But our
We were
guest
talking
has
about
a
it.
great shaggy voice. It's
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
good.
our guest
That's
is
pretty
gonna be
great.
great. Oh my gosh.
Our super secret guest.
Yes.
Super
I'm
secret
very
guest.
excited. We're
Okay,
gonna have a really
well,
cool announcement about that. So what's your
so I found the creator. Written and designed by Stephen Pankotai.
excellent?
Pankotai.
Stephen
I'm sorry.
P.
Stephen P. They have a Twitter handle, so we should definitely tag
Yes.
them on Twitter.
Oh, we'll definitely do that for sure.
Like I said, I've run this one at least twice. Huge fan. It's a crowd pleaser.
Yes.
So good job, Stephen P. I really enjoy this module.
Awesome. Make sure you send me those links so I can make sure to add those to our future posts. So Steph, what's your class?
Okay, now, but here's the issue is I feel like if I say it now, like I hadn't 100% finished building my character. I keep changing things, and now this would be locking it in.
Correct.
That's fair.
Mika
like
needs a
the
new pair of
suspense.
shoes. I think you should tell us.
That's like, I like the
Okay, wait.
suspense. So I'm supposed to be like, please.
Yeah, if you
So,
decide
okay,
not to
so
say it,
Matt-
I'll support you.
Matt wants the suspense. Lindsay and Erica don't want the suspense. I feel like now it's going to be a letdown because we all know, like, okay, wait, how do you all have money on this? There's only so many fighters at a himbo. Oh, sorry.
Well,
Oh,
Damn it.
that's all
Damn
the
it.
money.
Damn it.
I get to
Dang
keep
it.
my
Only
$5.
so many- Only so many classes a himbo can be.
That's true. We had money
That was a
for some-
fantastic reveal, by the way, and that made me really
know.
happy.
The Freudian slip of it is just perfect. Because
I don't know how to
Mika was
English.
like, it's like she's gonna totally be a warlock. We're like,
No.
like,
No,
$5.
I love playing spellcasters, but here's the thing. This is where Mika was wrong. I love playing spellcasters so much. I will basically always play a spellcaster in a proper campaign, which means when I'm
That's what I
playing a
was putting
one
on.
shot, that's when I pull out like the fighters, the barbarians, like those sort of
Oh.
characters I'm only going to pull out for a one shot because they're fun. But I love spellcasters so much. I always want to play them for a full campaign. I never want to play them for a one shot.
That makes sense. Huh. I think I'm kind of the opposite. I get scared of spell slots. They are overwhelming.
Look,
I
I
think
played
we-
one cleric who's my favorite character of all time, and now you're all stuck with me always playing magic casters, except for Maria, because this was not she was the one non-magic character.
I feel bad because I took the last magical character slot, and then that wasn't revealed until way later. And you would have
Mainly
some
because
amazing
I
powers.
forgot.
That's okay. I forgot
Honestly,
too,
it was
for a
so
little
funny
bit.
because when I was building my character, Erica was like, ideally you won't have magic because we already have 2 magical characters and they're supposed to be relatively rare. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's not a big deal. And then we're in the campaign and I'm like, so it has to be thirsty because like we have an automaton and we have Henry who's obviously magical. And I was like, but so I knew there was something going on, but I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, that was great. Well,
Anyways.
any other last minute thoughts? Anything you guys want to talk about?
I have one more roundtable question for the group.
Okay.
Without knowing what the world's going to be, what the plot's going to be, anything else, what is your one thing you're looking forward to or your one hope for season 3?
That's a great
Muppets.
question. We're moving on from Mika. Matt?
Not Muppets, not Muppets.
I'm kidding.
Oh man. I don't know. I think there's the thing, like I know it'll happen, but I'm still looking forward to it because I know that Erica is a fantastic GM and y'all are incredible players, so I know that I'm just going to be so surprised and proud of what situations we find ourselves in.
Aw.
And I'm looking forward to it.
I think that's kind of where I'm looking forward to the most because I'm going to be changing up some things because I know this season was really short and a lot of people, like listeners, really wanted longer things. And so I'm kind of changing up not really my style, but how I'm going to approach the next game. It's going to be more like quest based with an underlying story rather than this story that kind of hits you in the face. So we can kind of have some fun build up, kind of like almost like a TV show, almost like Monster of the Week, where every episode can be something different and we can have a lot more casual fun with it. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing these new characters and world that you guys create and actually like not actually bring it to life, but like bring it to life in so many more in-depth crazy ways.
I want to play a summoner.
I mean, we could totally make that happen. We're gonna create this.
I just think it would be fun to summon things.
I think so too.
The first thing that came to mind when you said that was in Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls game, the super old one.
Yes.
When you get really good at conjuration and like summoning creatures, people will come up to you and be like, "You smell of death." So I want to say that to your summoner.
Oh my
To
gosh, that would be
whatever
great.
this lemon will be named.
Yes.
I've got a list of different lemon names, so very excited to pull from that list.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear.
I'm thinking lemon Stopheles,
Oh,
Ooh,
if
that's
I
a good
get to
one.
be a summoner. Yeah.
that's a good one.
For
I
next
think the thing I'm-
season. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, you go
ahead,
first.
Lindsay. No,
No.
Lindsay, go ahead.
No. You
This was
started
my
first, you go
question.
first.
I should go last.
She's the Canadian. She like this is gonna end in just like a
Okay.
kindness war.
I don't want to lose.
I'll go
'cause I'm both
again.
kind and
No,
stubborn.
Mika, go
Yeah.
ahead and we'll finish the circle and then do Lindsay and Steph.
Muppets, definitely Muppets.
Oh gosh. I fell for it.
You're gonna summon Muppets.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Oh my gosh, how terrifying.
Like Sweetums, I'm gonna summon giant Muppets.
Please, please, please don't do that because I will have to voice them.
I
I'm so
want to voice
excited to
them.
make Erica voice a bunch of Muppets. I think it would be really funny.
That would be insane.
I'm very excited for this. Yeah, they could just be like Beaker, beep 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 beep. They don't have to actually talk. That's fine.
I want a character that is a Muppet, and I will only beep 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 beep, and then I'll text you guys what I'm saying,
Oh my god.
and then you guys can be like, it'll be like Groot, and you'll just be like, "That's right.
Oh my
We should go
gosh.
left."
That would be so fun.
It would be so fun.
Please keep that in mind because that would be
Okay.
hilarious. Like so much work yet so funny.
I'm a fast typer. I think we could do it.
All right, Steph, your turn.
Okay, I feel like this is really deep now after all of that. But I was just gonna say one of the things I loved the most about this season was watching us all get so much better at role playing and us all really figuring out how our characters interacted. And part of that was knowing our characters better, but I also think a huge amount of that was just knowing each other better and figuring out how all of our dynamics worked. And so I'm so excited because I really feel like we hit something beautiful this past season that I feel like next season we're already going to kind of be hitting the ground running with how well we interact and how well we know how to role play together. I feel like we're going to have some really amazing role play moments and I'm really excited to see them.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, season 3 is going to be fantastic. So keep an eye out on our social media where we're going to have the announcement for the special episode in between season story thing, having an ADHD word stroke. So keep an eye on social media for that.
For me.
Yeah, I feel that. It is almost 10 p.m. anyways. And then any questions you guys have about the season or anything, please feel free to comment on our social media and we will reply because it's fun.
I have a fun story about commenting on social media.
Please do it.
We got tagged. There was a post in the Twitter community about which TTRPG you wanted to play. Somebody said Mouse Guard. Somebody else said, "Oh yeah, listen to the Let Us In. Their first season was Mouse Guard." And I got to jump in and say, "Oh hey, I played Lemon Whisker," and they were probably like, "Oh cool, I'm gonna follow you," and it made me happy.
That was the
That makes me
greatest
so
little
happy.
interaction. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I followed them back.
great. Aw. But yeah, we seriously love interacting with you guys. And when you send us messages about how much you loved an episode and like your reactions, like they make our entire day, week, month, the whole thing. So keep an eye out for all these announcements and fun things coming up, and we'll keep you guys apprised of whenever season 3 is going to start. So thank you for listening to our season 2 and our wrap up episode. And that's a good night from the Let Us In. We'll see you next season.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.